Hey guys, welcome to my channel. Today I want to talk to you about my top favorite color correctors for dark under eye circles. Now, my under eye circles are not purple or blue. They are actually like a dark brown and slightly green. So what I want to show you is the color correctors that I absolutely love and my go-to correctors for these type of under eye circles. Now, if you have under eye circles that are actually darker than mine, just know that you're going to need slightly different products. You're probably going to need the next shade up, those really sort of dark orange or red color correctors. And if your under eye circles are lighter than mine, then you're going to need shades that there's some of these shades I think will still work for you, but you will need a shade lighter. So let's get started. Now here a footage of me showing you my under eye circles and what they look like in natural daylight. I wanted to make sure I filmed that in natural daylight so you can really see the extent of how deep they are. I feel like sometimes with artificial lighting you can't really tell, so you can see that they are sort of brown and green. Also, my eyes are quite sunken in, so even when I use full coverage products, you can kind of still see the line, and that's normal. You know, that's actually my bone structure. There's nothing I can do about that. So let's get started. So excited. You guys have been asking for this video and here it is. Now, my first top favorite that I've probably been using the longest is the MAC Prep and Prime highlighter. So this is called a highlighter. I'm not sure why. However, this is most definitely a color corrector. I've got the shade Peach Lustre. It's a beautiful, sort of like a peachy, rusty shade. The formula of this is also really, really nice. If you like color correctors that are on the kind of a sheer but creamy side, something a little bit more emollient, so your eyes are going to be slightly hydrated, I recommend the MAC because this isn't drying at all. If you have dry under eyes, I highly recommend that this is the one you try out. You can see when I apply this under my eyes in the footage that it keeps my under eye area quite hydrated, quite dewy looking. It doesn't mattify at all, and it's a really, really good everyday shade for me. So this is not a type of color corrector that has a ton of pigment. So it's not very orange or very rust-like. The pigment you're going to get from this is, I'm going to say about medium pigment, which for everyday really works for me. This is what I really use for work. I mean, I have my other correctors that I use for work as well, but this is my longest standing. This is kind of like holy grail. I have had the most experience with this and I really, really love it. I also think MAC is very accessible in many parts of the world. So this is definitely a product that I highly recommend. Now, in the footage that I'm showing you on the side, I'm going to include applying a concealer and a powder on top as well, so you can see how a concealer sits on top of these correctors. For each of my demos, I'm using the Pat McGrath concealer in LM14 and the Pat McGrath loose powder in light medium 2, and I'm keeping that consistent across all these corrector applications so you can get an idea of what it looks like and how different or similar some of these may look. Let me know in the comment section below how you're finding these correctors, which one you like the look of the best. I think that's going to be really interesting. Next up, I want to show you one of the newest additions in my arsenal is the Live Tinted color corrector. I have the shade Rise. Now this has, first of all, really, really beautiful packaging. I mean, look at that copper. That is stunning, really, and it's very cooling to the touch. A packaging like this really stands out in my stash, so I often end up reaching for this because sometimes I will end up storing my MAC one like this, and amongst all the black items you can't spot this, although it does have a little bit right here which helps, but this one just really stands out. So often I'll just dip in and just pull this one out. The packaging is beautiful. Now the product in itself is epic. Whew. Can you see the pigment on this? It is so strong, and I applied it quite heavily for this demo just because I wanted to show you the extent to which you can deepen this shade and you can color correct with it. Even if you have dark circles that are a lot darker than mine, I feel like you can really build this up to an orange color corrector and you will be fine. Now, if you have really, really intense purple and blue under eye circles, I recommend you check out Live Tinted's website. They've got some really good resources to show you that if you have this type of under eye circles, what you then need to use. And they have actually two shades that come right after this. There's a bright red and there's a deeper, more muted red, which is supposed to be really good for deeper skin tones. I'm quite intrigued by that. I've never seen a corrector quite like that before, so I've been very, very impressed with this, and the formula is so lightweight. You can just pop this straight on from the tube. You don't even have to pat it in with your finger. So for example, with the MAC, I absolutely have to pat it in because it's more of a cream formula, so you've got to spread it around. But with the Live Tinted, you don't need to spread it. You can just apply it in the area that you need it, and that's it. No patting required, no spreading required. You can use a very small amount so that it looks quite sheer, or you can really build it up. So I really like how versatile this is. I haven't had any issues with this formula. It sits perfectly under the concealer. And I can, of course, with both of these, I can use them around my mouth area as well. And it works brilliantly. Very, very quickly a fan of this product. Now, do check for shipping on their website. They have, I believe, added more countries in that they ship to, which is fantastic. And I know that Cult Beauty also sells this brand as well. So have a look to see if this is something that is accessible for you. Next up, I want to show you my Bobbi Brown cream color corrector. This is the shade Peach. So this is the one that I recently used for one of my makeup tutorials, the no makeup look. That's the one that I used, and this is such a beautiful brightening corrector. So when I want a really, I swear to say, whenever I say the word want, I say it through my nose. It's like a very nasally sound. It really bugs me. Anyways, I love how this just makes my under eye area look really, really bright. What I love about this cream is that it's not super emollient. I don't know if you guys have tried, for example, the MAC cream color correctors. I really don't like the MAC ones because the MAC ones are really oily. They are emollient, they slip around. I didn't like it. I feel like they don't set. I don't know. I actually tried the MAC one a long time ago, so I probably need to revisit that because I may change my mind on those. But from when I tried it long time ago, I wasn't a fan of those. Now this one, I really enjoy the formula. It applies very smoothly. It's a good balance between being emollient as a cream, but also setting down to a dry finish. And it also sits beautifully under concealer. It never really looks cakey on me. I can't remember a time that this looks cakey. You also don't need a whole lot. You can see from my video that it's quite pigmented, and this shade is just perfection. It's really perfection. I actually tried this and a couple other shades in store, and I found this to be the most brightening for my under eye circles. So I highly recommend this one. I don't think I have any other corrector that is quite like this because this is the most brightening under the eye. And lastly, I want to show you my Revolution color correctors. So I think I've shown these on my channel before. I initially had bought the shade Orange. Now in the tube, it looks like it's going to be a really good shade, and it is, but I found that this shade was a little bit too intense, a little bit too orange for my under eye circles. And so I ended up getting the shade Deep Banana Deep, and this one, the yellow corrector on its own is also not good. It makes my under eye looks ashy, but when you combine the two, it is perfection. What I love about this is that you can really customize the type of shade, the corrector shade that you're looking for. You can make it really, really peachy by adding just a little bit of orange but a lot of yellow, or you can make it really rust-like by adding more orange and less yellow. So you can really manipulate what type of shade do you want. And of course, these are very affordable. The texture of them is also very, very creamy. They're pigmented, they are creamy, they apply beautifully under the eye, you can blend them out easily. They are effortless, apart from the fact that you kind of have to mix them on the back of your hand, which sometimes, I'm gonna be real, I am lazy and I don't want to do that. And so most of the time I will end up using some of my other color correctors just because I don't wanna go through the trouble of putting this in the back of my hand and then mixing and then applying it. I'm gonna say out of these 4 that I've talked to you today, these are probably my least favorite, just because I have to put some work into it. That's it. Only because of that. Otherwise, the shades, the fact that you can customize, the creaminess, how pigmented they are, how they sit beautifully under concealers, everything else is perfection. Gosh, this video has been a long time coming. I'm one of those people that if I like one corrector, I will just stick with it for life. And that was me with the MAC one. It's only really last year when I started my YouTube channel and I started to think I should experiment some more just for my channel so I can see what other great color correctors out there in the market. And that's when I really expanded and started looking at some of these other options. And out of all of them, these are my top favorite color correctors that work for me every single time, and they never disappoint. And all of these color correctors, by the way, I can use around my mouth area or anywhere on the skin. They sit beautifully, they never look cakey. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, hit that like button and I will see you guys in my next video. See ya.